Mr. President, thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, Chief Justice, members of the Judiciary, and members of the 127th Legislature, and certainly honored guests, family, supporters, and the people of the state of Maine. Oftentimes, my staff has a pool on how quickly I will get off message. So let me start off by being off message. I spoke to Governor John McKernan last evening, and he apologized because his flight was canceled and he couldn't get here. I told him I'd love to send a state plane, but he sold it. So he's not with us today. As I begin, I must thank my wife and my children for their love, support, not only for the last 4 years as your governor, but more during this campaign, which was probably the most negative campaign I've ever experienced. It got so bad, I started hating myself. I'm very, very proud. I'm very proud of their strength, resilience through all the trying times, the campaign, and with Ann, especially the last 30 years. I am so proud of her. Her dedication to being a First Lady and what she has done for the military of our country is just beyond words. I only ask one thing of her in the next 4 years: no more jumping out of perfectly good planes. Je dois aussi remercier mon collègue franco-américain pour leur soutien. Je suis un enfant des rues du petit Canada. Je n'ai jamais imaginé qu'un jour, je deviendrai votre gouverneur. Mais à vous prendre en charge, nous l'avons fait. Je n'ai jamais oublié où je venais et je n'oublierai jamais votre soutien. Merci beaucoup, mes amis. Well, folks, we're back. The national experts, our local media, with due respect, said we wouldn't be here today. But they forgot to ask the people who count. Thank you, Maine people. Pundits and pollsters do not determine who should be governor. The people do. The people have, and we are moving forward. For 4 years, we have been taking our message directly to the people of Maine. We let our actions speak for themselves. That's what the people want: action. They are so tired of politicians preaching to the people but not listening to the people. They promise one thing and often do others. That's not who we are. We said we were going to pay the hospitals, and we did. We paid hospitals $750 million. We said we were going to lower taxes. We did. We passed the largest tax cut We said we were going to help private business create jobs, and we did. Not as many as we should have, but we are ongoing. It's a job in process. We are no longer the adversary to business, but a partner in business. And most importantly, there's a new culture in the state employees in Augusta. The employees understand who the public servants are. They are. We are. We, the elected officials, and the people that work for the state are your servants. Private sector companies have created over 20,000 jobs. We didn't. We just assisted. There are almost 7,000 jobs that are currently listed at the career centers needing to be filled. We are working on getting those filled. If you want a job, you can get a job. But our work is far from complete. Most importantly, and what I said to the French people, for those of you who do not speak French, is I have never forgotten my roots. And let me tell you, welfare reform is one thing that is very, very dear to my heart. So far, we have cut the welfare rolls in half. We are stopping the growth in Medicaid, but we are getting people insurance. We went after fraud and abuse. We put photos on EBT cards. We put money towards nursing homes. We are using the savings that we're realizing in welfare reform to take care of the most vulnerable in our state, our elderly, our disabled, and people with mental illness. We are transitioning people from welfare into productive jobs. The Department of Education, Health Human Services, Labor and Veterans Services have teamed up to create and develop an innovative program simply called Welfare to Work. More than 1,200 Mainers since October have come off welfare and into productive jobs. But I will ask the 127th legislature to consider putting a tiered program so we can wean people off welfare and not stop the benefits immediately. It's about giving them the skills, the training, so they can be productive in jobs. We want Mainers to know prosperity, not poverty. We are making some progress in reforming welfare, but I can't do it alone, and I need the 127th legislature to help. We are just getting started. The people of Maine have told us they want to keep reforming government. They want better jobs. They want welfare reform. They want lower energy costs. They want lower taxes. They want good roads and good bridges. And they want smarter, smaller, more affordable, and a smarter government. Mainers are hardworking. They have lots of common sense. They know what it means to pay the bills. They want their piece of the American dream. We won't rest until every man, woman, and child gets their chance to achieve the prosperity that they deserve and get them out of poverty. Mainers deserve higher paying jobs with good benefits. We want to attract new businesses to Maine, and we want to help our existing companies and businesses to grow and to expand. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just look at other states and see what works. The 50 states are laboratories. See what works and see what doesn't. So we've looked at the top 15 economies in the country. We can follow examples and make Maine very prosperous and very competitive. We can argue about how to get there, but I will tell you this. States with the fastest growth have lower taxes and lower energy costs. And that's not a coincidence. We need better paying jobs to encourage our youth and young families to stay right here in Maine. To create jobs, Maine must be competitive with other states. Companies want lower state taxes, and so do young families. Once they get here, we are responsible to keep them here. We want families, we want our retirees, we want wealthy residents, all to stay in Maine. We lose too many of our retirees to other states that have no taxes. When we lower the income tax burden, and we will, we put money back in people's pocket. You earn it, you should keep it. My long-term vision is very, very simple. Is Maine without an income tax? And on Friday, when the budget goes up on Friday, I will give you a hint. We're going after the income tax. I hate leaving anything to the imagination. Small Maine companies cannot afford to transfer business assets to their family members because the estate taxes are so high. Small family-owned businesses are the backbone of Maine's economy. We must keep our small businesses alive and well. By keeping the businesses alive and well, we keep small business owners living in Maine. We must keep our retirees in Maine. Too many of our retirees have moved to other states to avoid high taxes. I'm asking, let's work together. More importantly, let's work together not only to keep the retirees here, but also keep their assets here in Maine. Business owners, not only across the state of Maine, across this country, but business owners in China, in Bogota, Colombia, in Iceland, have told me they would love to come to Maine, but we are not competitive with our energy. If you think a household's electric bill is high, just imagine how much energy it takes to build a destroyer or operate Sappi paper mill in Hinckley. Lower cost of energy is absolutely critical to attracting manufacturing, high-tech industries, and multinational employers. It's a very tough work from our administration. We are off to, I'd say, a start, a modest start. We have the infrastructure for natural gas into the ground. Now we have to get gas to fill the pipe. And that's where we need your help. We need the help of other New England states. And Massachusetts has a governor who wants to work with us. We've already been talking to his transition team about natural gas and expediting it to the Northeast. Folks, we need to have natural gas at the prices that the people in Louisiana are paying, Texas are paying, and if we can do that, we can become more competitive and more prosperous. And we will. We need it sooner than later. We need a Public Utilities Commission that concentrates on affordable energy for all Mainers, not just for the rich, subsidized investors and environmentalists. Folks, we need to take care of Maine people. I have said it many times and I'll say it again. I am open for all sources of energy. My criteria is it has to be affordable for Maine people. We need to make it affordable for our businesses, for our homes. Affordable energy, we want it now, not 20 years from now. I ask and plead with you, the 100-megawatt limitation on all energy sources has to be lifted. We should not be picking the winners and losers. We need to lift the restrictions and allow the private sector to compete against each other. Competition is good. In the last 4 years, despite the limitations on energy sources, we have nearly installed 10,000 heat pumps throughout Maine homes. Heat pumps have no carbon footprint, zero carbon footprint. Most efficient, cost-effective. For a state that does not have adequate sources of natural gas, we've done a pretty good job. I'm also going to ask, again, and I've done for 4 years, is please, we are facing, in the next few years, a budworm epidemic that's coming from Quebec. We need to be harvesting the annual growth of our forest and allow us to take some of that additional revenue and help Maine families convert heating systems that are affordable. Then we can have our cake and eat it. We can have prosperity by lowering the cost of doing business and the cost of living in Maine. We do have the 4 seasons. We have to contend with that. With your help, we can make a difference. Businesses want and need lower energy. And homeowners and voters and the citizens of our state deserve affordable energy to heat their homes. Very simply say, let's give the people what they need and let's give them what they want. They've also asked that the people of Maine want an affordable, innovative, and very flexible government. The size and cost of state government should support, not burden, the Maine hardworking families. We have started to right-size government, but there is still a lot of work to do. It is time to eliminate obsolete regulations. And we've begun the challenge of providing Maine citizens better customer service. And believe me, that is a culture change that is far, long overdue. And we have started, and we are not stopping until everyone in Maine compliments state workers. And we're on the road to doing that. You know, we need a cost-effective, and efficient government that is not only responsive to the needs of Mainers, but is open to attracting new jobs. Job creators, and you've all heard me say this many times, job creators or investment capital goes where it's welcomed and stays where it's appreciated. Let's start to welcome them, and let's start to embrace job creators right here in Maine. A government that is too big and too expensive takes too many resources away from our families. We need to be bold. We need to think outside the box. We need to look at Maine's traditional model of running government and seeing where we can together make the necessary changes that all Mainers can appreciate and enjoy. It is all about prosperity over poverty. Now, Mainers are also tired of paying government that doesn't deliver the quality services and competitive schools. You know, we have made progress at the state level. We really have. And despite the last 2 years where there's been a lot of gridlock, despite that, we have made a lot of progress on both sides of the aisle. But there's always a but. We can do more. We can prioritize the services and the needs of the Maine people, and we can deliver. You know, infrastructure projects will speed economic development and help our businesses. We need to make sure that businesses can get their products to market quickly, effectively. Projects based on political compromises and political promises should take a back seat. The only projects that should be invested in are those that help Maine grow. It's time we prioritize all levels of government. On Friday, I'm going to be sending you a package, a budget package. In addition, for the first time in many years, we will be telling you what projects that we need to spend the authorized bonds on in the coming year. We are not going to wait and have a battle over bonds like we did until we paid the hospitals. The hospital bill is paid. Now it's time to fix the infrastructure. We need to make government smarter. You know, efforts to consolidate our jails have failed miserably. The attempts to consolidate our schools have failed us. School budgets rise every year, on the rise. Enrollment on the decline every year. We in Maine have twice the number of administrators per capita than any other state in the country. You know, state of Florida, 2.8 million students. 2.8 million students, and they do it 56 superintendents, and they're currently ranked 7th in the nation. Maine, 180,000 students, 127 superintendents, and we're ranked somewhere around 38. That is not appropriate. School administrators in the state of Maine take home 6-digit salaries, while teachers have to dig in their pockets to buy school supplies. That's inappropriate. It's not only inappropriate, it's morally wrong. I have been saying this for 4 years, and I will continue to say it. We have an education system that's upside down. It has winners and it has losers. We have 2 winners and 2 losers. The winners are the administrators getting more money every year, and the union bosses who come in from Washington and tell us how to teach our children. The 2 biggest losers are our teachers and our students. You know, I say we got to think outside the box. You want to reach the 55% of school costs? We should have one statewide teacher's contract, and the state should pay for all the teachers and all the classroom activities, and that would be about 56% of the budget, and I'm all in. I think the school boards and the districts should take care of the curriculum. We should make sure that the proper resources are in the classroom to make sure our children get a quality education. Further, we have to get control of our local budgets. I was shocked to see a statistic that total spending on local government in the state of Maine in the last 5 years has increased by $500 million during the worst recession since the Great Depression. How can that be? How can that be? Where's the money going? This kind of spending is not only unacceptable at the state level, it should be unacceptable, and local elected officials should just be saying, enough is enough. Municipalities constantly blame state government. And I will tell you, I'll be the first one to admit it, that when I was the mayor of Waterville, local control was important to me. And I wanted the state to pay for it, just like every other local elected official in the state of Maine. Now I'm governor. It's expensive. It's real expensive. You know, there's a simple reason to fix this, a simple way to fix it. We look at other states and how they do it. We look at the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and we see that counties do a lot of the services that we are doing at the local level. Towns, cities, and the counties have to work together to deliver services at a more affordable and effective cost structure. The model is not working. I will tell you, local control, like I said, as a mayor, it's the greatest thing. As a governor, it's a killer. It's a budget killer. But there are things, and there are counties in the state that are really working to make changes. Washington County, 18 municipalities have created an EMS system. This regional service is saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. Waldo County, several communities have gotten together, have gone to the city of Belfast, and they provide fire protection for these communities. I'm very serious in saying that if we want to compete at a national level with other states, if we want to compete on the international level around the globe, we need to deliver our services at a more regional basis. We need to work together. It's that simple. And I will ask the 127th, like I asked the 125th and the 126th, to no much success, but I'll try again. If you would give the executive branch monies to work with communities and monies to work with the schools, and to, instead of consolidate from the top down, let them come up with the ideas of what they can consolidate and allow us to help them, I think we can get our state under control. A governor who's been accused of being on the dark side, I really do want to work with you. Just promise me you won't sell the Blaine House. You know, Mainers deserve to be kept safe. So we will continue our battle with crime and with domestic violence. The drug crimes, unlike the 126th legislature, I will ask the 127th to please help us prevent our youth from being born addicted to drugs, and let us keep our youth alive from avoiding them from premature overdoses on the heinous heroin epidemic that we're faced with and the meth labs that we're faced with. We predicted that we were going to have maybe 20 meth labs this year. With the meth labs and the dumps, I'm sad to say we hit 35. I haven't got the number. I have not received the number yet of how many died of overdose, but I did see the number yesterday of how many children under the age of 13 that died at the hands of domestic violence. 7 kids were killed by a loved one. Ann and I campaigned very, very strongly against domestic violence. She has the military as her priority. Mine is domestic violence. In everything I do, my heart and soul and every ounce of my body wants to eradicate domestic violence. Whether it's a national sports star, whether it's a local laborer in the factory, whether it's a son who beats on his mother, a father who beats on his kids, folks, there is no excuse for domestic violence. And I ask all the men in Maine to please help me stand up and speak out against this heinous crime. Not that everyone, and not only men, create the heinous crime of domestic violence, but they're the primary perpetrator. We need to make sure that our children understand that bullying is wrong, all the way up to domestic violence kills people. It is wrong. We need to work together. We are making progress, and while I said there were several children that were killed this year, we're still, for the first time, under 24 this year. I'm not proud to say that, but it was 20. It's sobering. It's really sobering when you hear this horrific crime. And I'll tell you, the one thing in my life that I will tell you that I'm most proud of is my son in junior high. As you can see, he's a pretty big boy. And he was even bigger in junior high. He's lost 100 pounds. But in junior high, there was a young boy who was being bullied. He stepped up. And I remember he got disciplined for it. Best discipline he ever received in his life, because he did the right thing. He stepped up. We not only have to be the safest state in the nation, we have to be the national leader in eliminating domestic violence. And to the people of the state of Maine, I want to close by simply saying, we listened to you. We've heard your concerns. We hope the 127th legislature is listening also. The election sent a clear message. Maine people want action, not small talk. And most importantly, they want us to work together. My door is open for each and every one of you in this audience. And I'll work Monday through Friday, and I'm open Saturday morning till noontime if you wish to come by. But please bring coffee if you come on Saturday. I am not one who likes politics. Unfortunately, you have to get into politics in order to be governor. But I am here to work for the people of Maine, like each and every one of you. And we all want the same thing. How we get there, we sometimes differ. But the hard-working people of the state of Maine are asking for one thing. Give us prosperity, not poverty. We need to start looking at prosperity and forget about poverty. Let's not argue about minimum wage. Let's argue about living wages. Let's argue about good salaries. Let's get the Airbuses of the world here in Maine. Ladies and gentlemen, and all Mainers, actions speak louder than words. So let's go to work. Thank you. By the way, to a couple of senators, I bought some razors. I haven't seen them since May, and all of a sudden, there's all these beards out there. Thank you all.